up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse, you'll never kill the hearts of those who pursue freedom, you fucking fascists. This is State of the Game. Welcome. I am I am here. I am motivated. Dano, and more popular than George Carl ever was. So that's my claim to fame. Okay, did you hear the stories that they tell about George Carl now?
The basketball coach.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard the story about how he pissed off Michael Jordan. I
But
guess
like
that's the famous one.
I can't remember the video. Someone's got to find the video. His players, I think Carmelo, a bunch of people who played for him, he kept a book that was just called the N-word in huge letters on his desk.
What?
That's
Did
if
he
I
like
that's right.
did he write it? Did he
No,
or
no,
there was
it wasn't a play he wrote or anything. It was just a book that he kept out and the players weren't into it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
What the
What was he
fuck?
keeping track of N-word usage? What was the
Yeah, what
purpose
was
of
the
the book?
purpose of the book? Yeah, exactly.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, the
Didn't get
players
that
never
far?
really got into the book. Apparently, they were just like, "What the fuck is this? Why is it there?" You know what I mean? Like, it was. But yeah, he was a weird dude. Uh,
Fascinating.
so I got him topped. I've in public. The books on my desk are nicer. So my co-host, who just changed out of his white linen to get here, uh, he usually dresses like a villain in the Desperado series. Kay Diggy, thank you for being here.
What's up, everyone?
Love the PSG hoodie.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like the back. What's the that background is
that's actually
chapel?
I went to a church in Italy, ironically, a couple of years ago. So I
Oh.
felt like it was appropriate setting for
Oh, nice, dude.
yeah.
Kay
Topical.
is a world traveler. World traveler.
Oh yeah.
Part of what makes it work for us because I never leave the house, so it's a good mix. Yeah, we have some incredible people here today, and I'm going to give a really fucking long introduction. So, pro- producer, rapper, uh, somewhat. I got to when he came here to perform. I got to eat with him, and I got to experience a moment with him that was truly influential to me, and I think about as I move through this space. Right. Uh, Mopes stepped away from the game for a while to be a father, to be with his family, and came back and start. And when I saw him perform in Maine, it was one of the first times back performing, and I got to see you had the bag of old tricks, and you were using it, and the crowd was patient, and you got into the groove. But it was like a real point of like this person's been a badass in this game for a million years, and this is still a vulnerable fucking moment where like he doesn't know if it's gonna fucking work. And like it's there's that basketball expression, like the game humbles everyone. Like that was like a beautiful thing to watch you put your shit together brick by brick and be like, oh, it's never easy, right? Like that's why you see millionaires crying that they fucked up on stage, right? Like it everybody has to deal with this. So thank you for being who you are and for showing me that strength.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I mean, it's I have a interesting relationship with music now than I did, I think, when I was in my mid 20s, and it's a more healthy relationship for sure. So,
That's yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of things get healthier, hopefully.
Yeah.
If you do it right, if you do growing up right.
Yeah.
Um, but my other guest here, the first time I met him, I like I am somebody who I say I love you to people constantly. I I'm just worried about that. There was a real world in Seattle where this guy was on the phone with his mom. And he said, "Fuck you, mom. Fuck you," and he hung up. And then they were like, "She died the next day." And he was like, "Oh no!"
Oh shit.
And I
That
was
was
like,
on.
"See, that's why you gotta try and squash this shit." So I met first time I met Jesse the Tree, we gave each other a deep hug, and I was like, "This guy's just like me. Like this is we don't fuck around with the shit. Love each other. Appreciate that." So beyond the music, thank you for that.
Absolutely, man.
We'll get to the music. So yeah,
Jesse's
you
the
guys.
litmus test for people for me. Like if you don't fuck with Jesse or if you have bad things to say about Jesse, you're not even I can't even put energy into who you are as a person.
It's a fair
Mm,
point. It's a fair point.
mm.
If you got hate for the tree, what are you doing? What are you doing? Um, but yeah, so it's you guys just released the follow up to one of my favorite Strange Famous albums, which was Pigeon Man. Worm in Heaven is the current one here, um, and it's exciting. It's exciting um, to see the reactions from people. And how have you been feeling about it, about the project, and the feeling people have about it?
Want me to go first? Well, Mopes knows we kind of go through the same thing emotionally with each release. It's me, like, for weeks turning into months, and we take our time with the projects. Pigeon Man was what, 2022, so it's been 3 years since that, and we kind of started working on this pretty much right away, but just really spaced it out, went back, revisited things. I always get, the yips about everything I put out. I'm always gonna think I could have tweaked something last second.
Mm.
I'm always gonna think something could be better. I'm just never really gonna ever probably feel totally satisfied, but I think that's why I keep doing it and keep writing and wanting to creating music, because I want to keep chasing that feeling of what if it was all perfect, which is never going to happen, but that's the exciting part. So it was similar to that. I think I was a little less nervous about putting this out than Pigeon Man, just because Pigeon Man was my first, real big album, real album. Um, so at least we had that template from before. Um, so I was just always curious to see what people are going to think about it. Um, but it was just fun per usual, and Mopes and I's working relationship is just solid and easy and more personal and based in friendship than working. So we're able to be honest with each other, and he can tell me to chill out. Like, hey, this song is good. This album is good. Relax. This is sounding really nice. Whereas I'm like, cut it all. Let's not even put it out.
Yeah.
Um, so he's the calming force always.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you two have a relationship and a lane that is completely unique, um, to and works really well. Um, so that's one of the things, as Jesse's released a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff, but I always keep Pigeon Man in the conversation because don't I think Jesse is such an emotionally intelligent person, right? You can speak to feelings and not just like feelings of anger or joy, but the feeling you get looking at a sunrise and shit like that. Like he can do that. Um, but I don't want that to obscure the fact that he can just tear into a fucking track.
He can rap his ass off.
Right.
That's correct.
I love the heartfelt shit, but I love Flying Beatrice, dude. Like, love
Yeah.
that shit. So it's good to have that lane open still. You know what I mean? For that, I want
I,
I
I
want all
think
the flavors. You know what I mean? But that's
I think that's the I first knew Jesse through like when Sage sent me some of his stuff, it was like him rapping and his flow, and I'm like, fuck, this dude is he's got it. And then it that's what I think works perfectly with this other stuff he does. He's able to get out like with the stuff he does with Sleeping Dogs and even some of the like the thing the album he did with Henri. It's like he's able to create and stay creatively sharp. And then he has this other space that me and him can play in where it's like it's hip hop shit. But it is you know what I mean? It's not like fucking boom, it's not like stereotypical, but it's a
Mhm.
lane that him and I can go in together and be like, all right, it's not Sleeping Dogs, it's not this like it's this own thing that we can go on.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and like seeing like what some people have said about it who maybe found me more recently and heard something either with Andrew or with Henri and being like, I was surprised. I thought this would be maybe like more abstract or esoteric or something, but
Mhm.
it's pretty accessible and straightforward, but not in a way that's, turning me off. It's just different. So I think that is, Mopes is right in that regard that we have that sound and idea. If anything, that's kind of the conceptual drive behind our albums is like, let's make an album. Let's make, songs. Let's like flesh things out. Not saying either one is one I gravitate towards more. I like kind of doing a little bit of everything. But when I'm making stuff with Mopes, especially just like off of Pigeon Man, I'm like, all right, we're really
Yeah.
making an album step by step here. And maybe I'm writing more hooks. Because I don't usually write a ton of hooks, but for when we're working together, I try to do more of that.
Yeah, we when we did Pigeon Man, it felt like I was taking beats that I had already had and I think I think we were still feeling out the process because like once it came out, we were just like, oh man, we could do so much better.
Mhm.
Even though people loved it, we just knew like, oh man, we have so much, like we haven't even scratched the surface yet of what we can do. And then when we hit the ground running with Worm in Heaven, I mean, that's like a lot of the beats are old, like they're like almost 3 years old. But Jesse just took his time with it, with the writing, and I was like, I'm down. Like, I just want to let him do his thing. And then when I started to get the recordings back, I'm like, oh, he's just fucking another level.
Right.
He took his time with it. Like he, it's like he matured, not having, he wasn't overthinking. Like he was, the thoughts were there, but it felt like, no, this is it. This is the song. Like, this is where I want to go. And man, it's like, it's so technically fucking dope that it comes off effortless. I think that's one of the skills he has that not a lot of people have. Like he can it just feels like it's just he's just breathing on the
Yeah.
track, right? But it's so well crafted. And that's what pushes me as a producer, where it's like let's fucking go, man. Like I can give you any fucking tempo, any beat, any kind of, and he's gonna be able to find the pocket, and yeah, it's awesome. So,
I,
and
I have a question. How
I feel like
long?
we did
How?
it.
Oh,
I feel like we did it with this one. Like I was like, oh, like I felt this was like this is what we can do. You
Mm.
know? So
how long did it take to make Pigeon Man?
Um,
year and a
what,
half.
like a year to putting it
Yeah,
out and everything, or just like the writing process
The
around?
writing process.
Year and a half,
Okay.
right?
yeah. So I think we started 2020, somewhere in 2020, and
Yeah,
then
like
it was
right
another
in
we
the middle
sat
of
on it. Like,
COVID.
when it was done, we sat on it for a while, and then, yeah, so like we probably had it done in a year, and then we took another year of just like putting everything else, like the fine tuning things and the image graphics and all that stuff. So, and
But
then
like the writing, the album writing, and like production was done in about a year's time.
yeah,
I
And
would say
then
so, yeah.
and then uh for Warm in Heaven, how long was the writing and production process? Was it
Much longer. Yeah,
okay?
at least double the
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Like we got probably half done in a
Yeah.
year, and
Yep.
then I'd say like the second half of it took us, a year
That's
and a
yeah.
half or 2 years. We went back in and added a couple beats.
Yep.
There's definitely times where I'll write to a song, record, and send Mopes a demo, and then pull back and say I feel like I can do better on that
Yeah.
totally new song.
Mm.
But we were a little more we felt each other out a lot more on this one because he knew it. We kind of had an idea with what we wanted to do for production. I mean, we were in Vermont one day, and I think it was in Montpellier, the capital, and we were looking at records together, and Mopes was asking, what kind of sounds do you want to go for? And I said, I want to do some psychedelic stuff. I want to do some stuff that's maybe a little bit slower, and then so we had a lot more input from each other.
Do you think that was like because you talked about Pigeon Man, you didn't think you scratched the surface, and you think it was slowing it down was to cover the bases you hadn't covered previously, or
I think in a way, yeah, yeah. I think changing up the tempo a little bit, just like, but yeah, that Pigeon Man was Mopes giving me a bunch of beats to choose from, and me choosing my favorite ones. And
Yeah.
Worm in Heaven was Mopes making beats
I
for
crafted
me.
it. Yeah.
Not me rapping over Mopes beats, which is awesome in itself, but him making beats for this project for me, you know.
right.
So making them with me in mind and what I might sound like over them. Even in the descriptions of the emails, like here's something you can try and do something like this over. Here's something a little more happy. Here's something, a little more gloomy for you. Here's something a little more classic sounding. Here's something a little eccentric,
Yeah.
you know.
And I feel like I was making the beats in kind of like batches, and I would send it to Jesse, and he would go off, and I wouldn't hear back. I wouldn't hear the song maybe like 6 months, 4 to 6 months, and then it would be like, holy shit! It was this whole. It would bring this whole new life to the beat, and actually the song with Sharif, I completely redid the beat.
Hmm.
Once I heard everything, and then um. What's the one with the please don't let the marigolds die this
Oh,
time.
origami. Yeah,
Origami.
Oh
that
my
was totally
God.
flipped too.
I like stripped a bunch of stuff out of this because like I yeah, I just developed the beat more around what Jesse was doing. So like I tweaked it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I got better as a producer just like mixing and mastering. So it was like so or just like mixing in general. And I like so yeah, I think the whole it took the time it needed to take for sure.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, it's almost like the first like Pigeon Man is like a badass opening scene in a movie where you're like, holy shit! Like there's that heist was wild, you know?
Yeah.
And Worm in Heaven is like the moody middle part where we get to know the characters
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're like,
Ve-
oh shit.
Very good
All
description.
right.
Yeah.
Like that feels like the movement for me as a
I
listener.
think that's on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're already talking about the next one.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
I
That's
think both of us don't want to keep doing the same thing,
right.
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
I think that's the beauty of the working relationship is that we get along with each other. I fucking love hearing him rap over my production, and we want to keep pushing ourselves artistically. So it's like, all right, we did this, like we did Pigeon Man, we did Worm in Heaven. What can we do to push ourselves creatively, but also do something different? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Pigeon, like you didn't want to make Pigeon Man 2 Pigeon Hunter, or you know what I mean? Pigeon Toad, you didn't want to do that. You wanted
Pigeon
to make,
Resurrection.
yeah, yeah, Pigeon Direction. Absolutely. Whoa, no, don't actually.
Whoa.
Never
Well, you
mind.
never know.
Never mind. So, but yeah, it's instead you liberated yourself from that. I did a weird bonus episode about that, like where people get trapped in series, like when they put the numbers on it and it's successful, and now you're making 13 and 14 and 15, and you're roped in. So instead, this feels like more of a Coen Brothers thing where like I called my people, but we're doing a different thing now. You know?
Yeah, that's what keeps that's like the spark of it, you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
exciting part is seeing where else we can go with it.
And I
I
think
think
that's
once
what, yep.
you don't want to just be making albums to make albums,
Yeah, and I
or
think
making music to make music. Yeah.
me and you have the same feeling. We get really excited. We're like, oh man, this shit's dope. And then like after it comes out, like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay, it's got
Not even like disliking it, but just being like, all right, what's next?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Kate, do you want to hear theory number one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Theory number one. This is the tree theory, building on what Mopes was describing Jesse and the technique. So I remember, I remember getting Pigeon Man. I remember getting told he was great and feeling very nervous because I was like, man, if this guy sucks and everybody likes him, I'm gonna have to fucking pretend that he's okay all the time. This is gonna suck, right? Like people can be like, "Oh, you like it?" Oh, um, But I listened to it. I was like, "Holy shit, okay." And then I listened to the previous stuff before Pigeon Man, and I was like, "Holy shit, this isn't somebody who's like made a huge leap up. Um, this is somebody who just has better resources now."
mm,
Like I felt like the tree from back then could have made the music that the tree was doing now, just didn't have the resources.
mm,
And this is a weird comparison point for me, but Kay, back in the 80s, right? Way back in the 80s, Marvel Comics released a set of encyclopedias and shit, like handbooks that would talk about characters and their backstories, but would give like hard data. They'd be like, Spider-Man can lift up to 40 tons. You know, it would give like exact powers, exact limitations. So I needed that shit. I was a very nerdy kid. So, and I will never forget in this Marvel handbook, they had a breakdown of one of my favorite villains, Ultron. And they said the thing about Ultron is that the processing system for Ultron always figures out how to integrate how you beat him into the next variation of Ultron. So you can never beat Ultron the same way. Ultron comes back with a failsafe for that. And I remember as a kid being like, oh shit, that's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. And that's how Jesse is as an MC to me. Like, if, all of a sudden on Pigeon Man, he's singing like an angel. What is going on? Why is, and then and we're like, what? And then he's like, there's the badass, like, going at you lyrics, or even sex lyrics, NBA lyrics, like sports stuff, posse cuts, like hard nosed tracks, emotional tracks, slow flow tracks with people who only do slow flow and linking and making it make sense. Like, it's just, he's Ultron, you can't beat him the same way.
that's cool, man. It's a very high compliment. Um, I think that's maybe the like competitive drive with making music. Is always, that going back to never being completely satisfied, but also wanting to not wanting to be beat. And the same that Ultron shit, like looking forward and like how can I have every angle covered here? How can I have everything, different armors and attacks and weapons and moves. You know what I mean? I think that's the competitive nature of it too, is wanting to show everybody that I know how to rap, you know. And I think that part of me never dies either. So wanting to make good music and wanting to come up with new ideas and wanting to cover different topics, but also always wanting to show people like I know how to rap, you know. I think that's what's really fun with Mopes beats is it kind of push you like, hey, come on. It's almost like somebody saying, hey, jump in the cipher, show everybody, you can lay down a 16 and Mopes beats kind of push me to be like, hey, all right, here you go. The verse is about to start. You better rap your ass off or,
Right.
you don't want to half-ass this beat. There's never a Mopes beat where you're like, maybe I'll take the gas off on this and just kind of chill, which I, love to do, not in the terms of like lyrically like taking the gas up, but sitting back. Mopes' beats kind of push you right into the deep end of the pool and say, all right, you got to rap to swim to survive on it.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I don't want to back to back these theories, Kay, and be annoying, but I might do it. Um, you want my Mopes theory? Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. Sometimes I just ask permission. So, um, Mopes is a hammer, right? And I think sometimes in the modern musical sense, people are like, is there enough nuance to this hammer? And you're like, the fucking nails through the board, like pretty good. That's what I wanted. There's a lot of uh, there. Sometimes being obtuse makes you seem complicated, right? And so there's a lot of like underground stuff where the beat's kind of there, but kind of not there, right? The lyrics are kind of fancy, but kind of meaningless a little bit. Um, and it's kind of it's floating. You know what I mean? And when it's done, you're not sure. Did I love it? Did I hate? I don't even know. And listening to a bunch of the work as prolific as Mopes, I was like, this guy's a fucking hammer. Like he's just driven, you know? And so when you say like you can't take that off, it's almost like the energy of that drive is in every aspect of Mopes. It's in how he raps, it's in how he produces, right? It's kinetic energy. There is no potential left. It's kinetic.
That's
Yeah,
a that's a really good point. Yeah.
I think that's I think it goes to like how like the era of hip hop I grew up in, the like listening to it as a fan, the era of hip hop I started in. It was like just a different era than it is now. Um, but it's always been about the movement and the feeling and the drums and the bass. Like that is always gonna be the crux for me. And if you can't feel it here, and it's not like it's not like getting in there and you can't fucking move to it, then it's like it's just not my thing, you know? But it doesn't discredit other music, but that's the kind of music I want to make. I want it to have that feeling of like even if it's 60 BPM or if it's 100 BPM, if it's got a simple bass line or a complicated like it has to have that groove to it. Because at the end of the day, it's got to move you in my mind as the producer. Like you gotta it's if you're not like in the if you're not your body's not wiggling to it, then it's just I'm not doing my job, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's impact, right? Like it's
Yep. Yeah.
yeah. I'm with you on that. And this
Yeah,
is
I don't mind being a hammer.
no, no,
You
and
know what I mean?
it's cool to watch. It's cool to watch because this is so much. There's like oh, what is the it? It would be what's the Shrines. If this was an Armand Hammer album, it would be Shrines,
Hmm.
right? It's that it feels organic. It feel in the production. It feels lived in, but it still brings that punch in your face to the table. You know?
Yeah, this is the first one I actually mixed mastered too. Like I feel very confident in well, like the bass line and the like I don't I'm not I was never like technically taught how to do this shit. So it's like that thick, warm crunch. Like that's the vibe I wanted to get, and I could never really communicate it to people when it was the mastering. So I've kind of figured it out a little bit. And then I wanted to say one thing about Jesse. Um, he like if we're gonna compare it to like basketball, he's in the gym.
Right.
Right? He's in the gym. He's always like shooting from the outside. He's practicing his dribbles. He's taking it inside. And then like if somebody's figuring out like, oh, you're gonna go this way, he's gonna spend fucking 3 months in the gym figuring out how to go the other way and make you silly. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I think that's what I love. That's why me and him like want that. Like that's what I want to keep put. We both want to keep pushing ourselves. So the forces that we're pushing each other while pushing ourselves.
Yep.
That's it. It's like that's what I'm in it for. I'm in it for that, and pretty much that alone. So if I'm not getting that, it's like, oh, we can't really work together.
Mm.
Yep.
That's how I
That's
put it. Yeah,
those are that's the exciting parts of music. You
yeah.
know,
Well, I think
that's
also working with somebody else.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if there isn't that thing, if we're not having a moment with each other, then it's like, what the fuck we doing? Like it's not. In my mind, it's just like this ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Like the coolest feeling is finally, getting the song down on one of your beats and then sending it to Mopes and saying,
Right.
"Oh, this is what I've been brewing all this time. These sorry, my dad's calling me. Hold on.
Oh.
Love it.
Dad's
My daughter comes in, your dad's calling you.
my he's definitely calling me about the new recruit the Friars just got. Damn, how do I get my fault? Where's it? There's Zoom. Um shit, what was I saying?
Working with people, right? With the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like sending Mopes the track once I, left the studio and hearing what he about it and him getting excited and being like, oh, like this is a banger. I really like how this sounds, or noticing a line that I put in. Those are the real like joyous moments of the process. And then like it's a weird like I don't know. I don't want to say like youthful feeling or what. I guess in a way it is, but like going to the studio, recording, leaving, and having a product and showing it to somebody and knowing that they look at it the same way that you do. I guess it's the same with all of art, whether it's a painting, a song, or something you created and showing it to somebody who understands is it's one of the coolest feelings in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. The that's awesome. Kay, how did you feel about the progression from Pigeon Man to Worm in Heaven?
Yeah, I thought I feel like we've talked about Pigeon Man before. So to hear Pigeon Man and then be able to contrast it with Worm in Heaven, like I felt that Pigeon Man was very confident. It was a very confident Jesse the Tree. But I felt Worm in Heaven was more like the word that kept popping up in my head was self assured. Like
Ooh.
it there was still that level of confidence, but there was less. It sounded like there was less to. He felt that there was less to prove to other people. Like
Mm.
I felt, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like when I listen to Pigeon Man, I hear someone that's trying to, you know, really like prove to people, like, look, like I can rap. Let me show you how well I can rap. And Pigeon Heaven, Worm in Heaven, I felt more of it was more of a rapper who knew he could rap, knew that he had already proved it, so was just going to continue following down the path that he had chosen.
A great way to look at it. And going
Yeah.
back to, you know, basketball terminology, it's like, your rookie season
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to show that you deserve to be on the team, wanting to show that you can complement the team and earn your minutes, and then the that being Pigeon Man and then Worm in Heaven being like, all right, can you help a team win? Can you be a starter? Can you really contribute? Can you, have a solid season? Can you score 20 points a game? Or, are you, a plus player? And
Yeah.
so can you maintain that, and how also just, what parts of your game did you grow? So maybe showing you can rap was like, yeah, I can go down the lane and dunk and it looks nice, but, how do you play defense? How do you, can you pass the ball? Can you dribble? Can you be on the court at all times? Um, so I get, yeah, I mean that it's funny that there's so many ways to tie rap to basketball, but um,
Yeah.
same thing
We'll
with just
never
like wanting to
we'll
have
never fight
longevity.
that. Certainly me and Ken.
Yeah,
I would say the other thing I would add to that about the for the first year to second year metaphor, your first year, if you're a really potent player, um, they're not they don't have the game plan for you yet. They don't have, they've seen you in other places, they've studied film of you in other places, but they haven't seen you in the league. They haven't played
yeah,
against you, right? So when you come back that second year, you better have added stuff. Because if you didn't, the people that study, they've got the book on you.
mhm, yeah. So
They
it's
got
like
the
when
book on your last
a
year. Yeah. Yeah.
like a rookie pitcher in the MLB, like the first time they go out, they strike out 12 people, and you're like, whoa, is this guy the next big thing? And then the next time out, he gets shelled.
Right.
Yeah.
It was only because he had something that people might not have been familiar with yet. But now that familiarity is gone. So now what are you going to do? You got to add another pitch to your arsenal. Or you got to mix up the speeds.
So
It's a
let me ask.
psychological game.
Right.
So between Pigeon Man and Worm in Heaven, how many projects were you involved in between the span
Ooh,
of those two?
let's talk about it.
Because I'm looking at the Apple Music, I'm seeing at least three: Treely
Yeah,
Dan, Not Fade Away, and Swan Dive. But I feel like there was more.
But that's just
yeah,
solo. That's not even Sleeping Dogs.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
Swan Dive was I just me producing for Andrew,
Right.
but then three Sleeping Dogs albums.
Yep.
Most recently the album with Henri. Um, I don't know in terms of complete things, I don't know, but just a ton of features and stuff in between.
Ton
You
of
know, and I when I look at it like to go to basketball, like confidence is built by, accomplishing things. Like, you look at the rookie makes the all rookie team. Then maybe he makes his next year he gets all-star considerations, and then the third year he makes the all-star team. So I think, you could hear Worm in Heaven, you could hear the confidence and self-assuredness built on, like, look, like the past 3 years, like I've really been part of like a couple of exciting things.
Mm,
right.
definitely, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a grind. It's work.
Right.
It's fun and it feels great and you get a lot out by making music, but it's also, it's exhausting and it's emotional and I it's a full scope of emotions when you're creating. Maybe some people feel less, and maybe some people feel more, but writing to me has always been, very draining in a good way.
Mhm.
The same way that going to the gym is. Like sometimes you don't want to do it, but then you do it and you feel good. You're working towards something, and it's good. It's the good work.
And Mopes about how Jesse writes, and I think one of the reasons like Jesse is beloved by other rappers. And I think it's partially because of the writing. And like Jesse looks at a great line and he doesn't go, "Oh, it's a great line." He goes, "That's 80% there, but I think I got another 20 that I can find that I can
Yeah.
turn up."
Yeah, and it's also just again like it, the intricacies of him writing the beat. There's a lot of people that can have good lines and they can deliver it like do 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 do, and it's just like, but and when you're kind of going, you're hitting and you're hitting like the sixteenths and the eighths, and your voice is going like, and it adds another element to the writing part of it, right? Because like you can write lyrics, but to write and flow and have it feel natural is a completely different thing. And that's yeah, that's one of the things that just sets Jesse apart from, in my mind, a lot of the uh, folks out now is that there are things that he can do that other people can't, which is fine. That's what makes him unique to a lot of other folks. And
Yep.
I think he's got even more potential. That's the crazy fucking thing. I think he's got like he'll dip his toe in over here, but it's like if he just goes full, you know what I mean? So I think that's what's interesting for me as a producer, where it's like, let's go here. You know what I mean? Let's go here. Let's go over here, and then let's fucking do a diplo, fucking dipset shit. You know what I mean? And
Right,
like
right, right.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, you go like it's funny. Those are like it creates the best kind of problems, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I was a
That's the
super
pushing each other. You
right,
know, where it's
right.
like I can see it, I can hear him, I can see like, yo, go here. Let's see it. Let's see what happens if you go here. You know?
I was a super Beck nerd back in the day, and
Okay.
I went to see him a bunch. And one of the things that was interesting was it was tense at the shows because he had so many different eras and so many different kinds of Beck that there were people that were like, you know, I want that danceable shit, or I want that mutations shit. Like they, different eras, right? I want
Yeah.
some one foot in the grave, like, um, and it was the fans were like, what about my era? Like, and then he would come out. Like I was there when he first. You remember when he lost? He had like a relationship he was in for 8 years. I think it was a marriage, and it went away. And he wrote like this incredible heartbreak album about it.
Oh, is it Sea Change or
Yes, Sea Change.
yeah.
Dog, I
Hmm.
was there in Boston when he first played Sea Change. Everybody was, like, I want my disco back. I want my, alternative back. And he
Like
starts it
Odelay.
right. Right. I want my Oda Chemical Brothers. And he started that shit, and we were all like, what the fuck? Like,
Hmm.
none of us would admit it was our favorite, but we were just like, yo, that shit's good. Like, I'm gonna listen to
Yeah,
that a bunch.
that's probably my favorite.
It was different, man, but it was him teaching us this is
Yeah.
where I am now, and get in the back seat. Let me take you there. You
Yeah.
know?
That
Yeah. That's
happens at every show I play in Rhode Island because my older sister comes to every one of my shows, and she'll be front row and will always be like, play Flying Beatrice, and I'll be like, I'm gonna do some new stuff, and it's like, something really gloomy, like, like a bug flesh off
Yeah,
not fade away. It all varies. There's like a year or so where I was playing like pretty morbid sets,
right,
and she'd
right.
be like, where the hell is all like the hype stuff, and I was like, well, to me right now, this is hype. Even if it sounds really slow and sad, this is exciting to me, and this is what I have the energy for.
Yep.
Um, so it's that same thing. But yeah, I can foresee that happening to me more often than not. It already kind of does with just friends locally who are like, oh, play like, you're gonna do like a fun set we can, drink beers and bop around to. And then I'm like, oh, they're probably not gonna like several of these songs, but
But
um,
that's the beauty of you, man. You can go do some really slow, somber, almost like folky kind of vibe, and then all of a sudden someone can fucking put on a Jay-Z beat, and here
Right.
you go. You know what I mean? You can switch and do, yeah, that's the versatility.
Yeah, man. Dipset and Bob Dylan getting
Yeah,
together.
that's it. But
yeah,
that shit's interesting to me, you know?
Right.
So
What was it about the gloomy sets that was appealing to you at the time?
It's usually I want to play what is freshest to me.
Hmm.
So I want to play the stuff that I was just stewing in for the last few months and got down. So if I was writing it, I'm pretty kind of slow writer. So if I'm each song, if I'm writing it, I go over the lines one by one. Sometimes I'll write like a couple lines a day and keep going over and over them. So I memorize them at that point, and then I want to see how they sound live. So there's not really much rhyme or reason with the sets other than mostly just what I wanna play. Um, but depends too with the crowd. If I don't want to totally like embarrass myself, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's a big crowd. Let me, completely kill the mood.
Right.
Like, okay, the smart thing to do would be to play a combination of things. Some things that, people can get excited for and then slow it down a little, then go back to the excitement.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it leads me to a question because I think there's a lot of people like you spoke about most about like the ability to, you know, change patterns, do all kinds of different things. And there's a lot of rappers who are like, my tempo is this, right?
Mhm.
86 beats per minute. That's where I live, you know? And you're like, okay, that's cool. Um, but like when you have the ability, I think I told this to Rich Jones once. I said like, because you have so many different skills, you have more responsibility.
Yeah,
There's so many ways you could disappoint us potentially
yeah,
because
yeah.
you have to honor all these different skill sets, right? Like, and so in terms of like, not fade away is the total exploration of that slow flow, slower tempo, you know, hazy psychedelic fucking, Willy Wonka through the tunnel shit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it's marvelous. And I'm sure you learned a lot, but like your tempos keep changing, you know? What are the big moments for you in like, wow, I could do something new here, like for project to project? Do you have any moments that stand out?
Like over the whole span of my life, or like more,
No,
more
the recent career, for let's say from Pigeon Man to now.
in terms of like wanting to. I think like doing something and then wanting to do not the opposite, but do the other thing that maybe I didn't get to do on that project.
Right.
So, even, after we wrapped up Pigeon Man, I was already telling Mopes, like, all right, the next one I want to do slow and gloomy,
Mm,
but that might have been how I was just kind of feeling in the moment. It might be as simple as that, though. Like, okay, I got to do that on this album. Now I want to do this other thing here.
yeah.
There's days where I'm like, I'll text Mopes and be like, I want to do an album where I'm singing the whole time. I don't even like, no, maybe some raps here and there, but
Mm,
um, it's very similar to how Andrew is too. Him and I go back and forth with that too. Like let's rap on this beat. It's real up tempo and fun, and we could really rap. Or oh man, maybe we should just do a Elliott Smith cover.
mm.
And it's wanting to do a lot of different things. It's being interested in a lot of different sounds, and you know, I guess it's because I've never really gotten very good at any instruments. It's rapping just became my sole instrument. Was that like I rapping in different ways and different tempos, different speeds, different beats is my way of getting to play an instrument.
And Mopes, I think some of what he's describing is I've lived in this project for so long. Now that it's out, give me anything but that. Like, let's go the opposite direction.
yeah, and that's why like I don't want to keep doing the same thing, and that's why I like taking breaks between projects. I like to hear what Jesse's working on and be like, or even what other people are doing. It's like I'm of the school of like I'm not gonna do what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna like, oh, if you're gonna do this shit, you're gonna do 2 minute songs. I might do a 6 minute song, or you know what I mean. So, um, um, the interesting thing though is like because I think we both could do slow and gloomy all day. But it can't all be that, right? But there's a way to do. That's what I love as being a producer. It's like, okay, how can I flip these samples that like I'm gonna sample this fucking soft rock thing that has like it has like a up tempo we feel to it, but it's kind of gloomy. But so that's like that. So picking the stuff that I'm taking and trying to keep it fresh while still having like a theme to it. That's the part I love as the producer. So it's like I can uh, give Jesse what he wants, but also push him and push myself in the same time. Right. So
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure that we give Mopes credit. I was listening to Dangerfield, listening to all this stuff today. Um, and the thing is, like, so Mopes starts his career right around the like mid to end point of the Scribble Jam era, right? Which started as one of the most important inventive things in like hip hop, right? And I think probably by the end is a bit of a cult of personality, uh, where we're getting some odd stuff that doesn't stand the test of time. Um, but Mopes was a hard nosed, badass rapper who was also always in touch with his feelings and what was right and wrong in the world. And I think that is what survived. I kept thinking, Kay, of like the Jay-Z Kanye relationship, where like Kanye would be like, Jay's a badass. But like Jay was also the guy who did Sunshine. Like he was also one of the most sensitive of the hardcore New York cats of his time. He was known for that. He was clowned for that, right?
Yeah, there
And
was emotional intelligence about Jay-Z.
right, he was telling you about his feelings, you know? And but at the same time he had the credibility. And so when Kanye started going full on into his feelings, Jay was the bridge for that, if that makes sense. So I kept thinking about that with Mopes. Is like Mopes is always hard nosed, but there's a lot of heart in that music. Um, yeah,
Yeah, because you couldn't go again. This is the era that I was in. Like you couldn't do certain things. You would have been fucking booed or something thrown at you or like
Mhm.
fucking humiliated. Like so you had that was what Cool G Rap did. I mean, you hear Cool G Rap like say some shit, and you're like, God damn, that's fucking trauma.
right,
And he
right.
just goes off about then he'll it's just like these couple of lines. And Scarface did the same shit. Prodigy did the same shit.
Mhm.
Where it's like you have these little moments of damn, like this shit, like I'm fucking sad as fuck. And like this shit happened, but then I'm switching over. Like so it wasn't full songs of trauma
Like
and
reel it in.
feelings. Yeah, it's like you just getting these little sprinkles of it. So that's and then when I started to hear like um everybody yeah like the indie movement when I was going in like Slug and fucking um Adams Fam and everybody that was still they were doing it more I don't say more interesting but just doing the counter stuff
Right.
that was to like the pop, right? It made it easier. But man, those beginning times rapping is like I'm not gonna go up there and talk about my fucking feelings. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go up here and just rap just to get respect. And then maybe on my album, I'll do something about like how I'm like depressed. But like I'm not gonna go hit this open mic and talk about how sad I am. So that and then what I think music and art has always been to me has always been as a form of self-expression and my way to cope and interpret what I'm going through,
Mm,
right? So I always that's always been the core of why the fuck I'm doing this stuff.
right.
And um that's what I wanted to carry with the music that I'm doing from the beginning because I want to be able to stand on it in front of thugs, my kids,
Right.
old people over here. Like that's why I've always been able to move by myself in different situations and in different groups, right? And I think that's what I've carried as an adult now, because I was a kid when I started. Now I'm an adult. I'm a dad, and I saw I that's one of the things that connected me with Jesse, man. Jesse does the same thing. Like he is what he's presenting. There's no fluff. Like I'm not doing this for fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's heart behind it. Yeah. And that's I try to keep that integrity with the production and with if I'm still writing and rap.
Yeah. Does that all make sense, Jesse? Or give me
Me rant.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I would say in a lot of ways, obviously such a stark contrast to where we are today, but I don't know how much younger I am than you. I'm going to be 34 in a few weeks, but I still, just you explaining that, I recognize that I still have that too. Even where I'm writing a song and I start to do two or three lines in a row where I'm getting a little, extra sensitive or divulging a little bit more personally. Um, and I'm a fairly private person, and unless it's with, really close friends. So I start going, whoa, maybe saying a little bit too self-disclosing a little bit too much here. Maybe I need to pull back and talk about something totally unrelated to me.
Mm,
So I think that still exists, whether that's a masculinity thing, whether that's a hip hop, whether that's whatever, but I struggle still to completely emotionally dive in with songs, even though I do consider myself as an emotional writer. Um, but I don't know. It could also, like, I think another reason Mopes and I really connect is we're both from Rhode Island, and
yeah.
it's
Sure.
that's a big thing. That's Rhode Island
Different place.
is
Yeah.
very unique. It's and there's a very much, I think, a such thing as Rhode Island bonds. Like beyond being our friendship blossoming early on, it was like, we're both from Rhode Island. Like there's an unspoken relationship there. There's a history there. There's an understanding. There's a way that Rhode Island people are, whether we
Underdogs, bro.
are,
Yeah.
it's the underdog. You know, no, who the fuck's if people automatically think of Boston or New York or anywhere else but here? People, nobody's ever really given us it's like the constant little brother Napoleon complex with everything. So you kind of have the chip on your shoulder constantly.
Yeah.
And
I was
I
gonna say
think,
it's tough, but they got that gritty toughness.
yeah, whether it's overt or not, I
Yeah.
think we both kind of have a silent way about us that will always hold on to that
Yeah.
comes
But it's like,
across in
yeah,
the
I'll give you a little bit of me being sad, but fuck you.
yeah,
Just so you know
exactly,
that
yeah,
it's still fuck you in here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
and that's why like Strange Famous is such a safe place for
Mm,
that mentality and why when we talked to Sage he loved Mope so much because I think I one of Sage's great superpowers is he is the guy who can walk into the room of popular people and say the thing that everyone's doing wrong and is gross
yeah.
Yeah,
and
or
not
or yeah,
not be afraid to be on the outs, not be afraid to lose friends. He can just walk into the room and be like, "That's bullshit," and here's why. Um,
and I
and
think
he,
it's gone as far as he doesn't even have to say anything now. It's just like that's the figure that he is. That's his persona, you know.
and
Yeah.
he still does that, right? Bigger, badder wolf is such a Sage Francis moment where he's just like, "Yeah, you're tough, but there's always going to be somebody tougher." But he's
Yeah.
saying it as if he's the toughest badass in the world. It's great, you know. And then bad motherfucker, like being a bad motherfucker, but like being bad at reading maps. Like
Mm.
he's he's always undercutting what you think he is. And like that's yeah, I his deep antagonism is a beautiful rainbow.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely, that's great.
So yeah, but this and the other leveling up here in Worm in Heaven okay, is that these guests are a big honking deal,
Hmm.
right? I mean, the KVI is a bit of a legend, dude.
Yeah.
Um, and kills it. Kills it.
Oh yeah, his verse is incredible.
Um, Henry Osborne, Grayskull fam, crazy, great verse. And just like if you just read these slug, Def Seat, like it's just it's a huge this is like where you are now, right? Like the love you've gathered,
Yeah.
you utilize those resources. You
Yeah.
know,
And all people, that I would consider friends,
right,
in one way or another. Some, obviously closer than others, but Henri and I would probably make a song every day if we had the time and resources to do so. That's another person like Mopes that I feel very close to, so the music feels so organic. Same with Andrew, um, same with Sage.
right,
That
right,
that was like the coolest part. But like first meeting Sage and being like, holy shit, I'm gonna get to make music with this guy. But beyond that, I was like, I can't wait to be like friends with him. I can't
yeah,
wait to,
Dude, the
you know,
wiffle ball game.
yeah, like just like hanging out at his family's house and you know, like just not having it be about music, and
Mm.
having it just be about just silly shit and letting our guard down and laughing. That's definitely one of the coolest. Another reason I'm in it for, other than wanting to create, having that unrelenting woodpecker at the back of my head telling me
yeah,
to write and create is the relationships you make with people become so profound, and it's incredible. It goes so far beyond the music to the point where you're like, why are we talking about music? Like what's
right,
what's going on with your kids? What's going on with work? Like music, we can do that tomorrow.
right. You have like, yeah, you love people like as and I think that is it's another thing and you let people nourish you with who they are. And I think that's yeah, that's a wise thing to do, especially when you're driven like to perfect your art, being able to give yourself the little bite-sized joy of these times and relationships is great.
Mhm.
Because it takes a little bit of the pressure off. So
So he,
you're not full Kobe, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, also in what he does for his work, like he's a fucking therapist,
Right, right.
Mm.
and uh, like Anima is that song lyrically
Yeah.
is in my mind probably the best song on the album, and yeah, like knowing who he is as a person, transforming it like the shit that he has to deal with over here, and he found a vessel to do it. Like I don't think people know like the levels of that song is fucking,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's one of those things where I'm like, you don't fucking understand how this shit.
No, it's I'm with you. I'm with
And
you.
it is funny because I heard like that was one of the last songs I heard, and I had to the first time I heard it, I'm like, I can't fucking work on this right now. It's like 11 o'clock at night. This is too fucking much.
Right.
So I was like, I have to fucking prepare and sit with this. And then I'm like, man, I want to make a new beat to this. Like, and I was like, I can't because so I was like, I have to figure that. And that song fucking like it
That's
was
one we really like collaborated on in real
yeah, you were
time.
like, I need this. You're like, I need the ending to kind of become chaotic.
Yep.
And I was
So
like,
Mopes
okay,
added that like
yeah. And then I just was like, all
upbringing
right,
that was just like a
bro, it was
circus
hard. Like that
music
song, like I think knowing you and then having like the some of the drives you've had together, and then I don't know, just like hearing some of the shit that you had to deal with as in that field, and then hearing that stuff was like, holy! It just put like another level of respect, but just like, damn, this was such an awesome fucking way to put this out it was so smart. There's so many fucking levels to it. Ah, yeah.
It's yeah, I mean Anima, we have to talk about Anima. Just like I think if you asked me like what does Anima remind you of, I would be like Heroin by the Velvet Underground.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love that song, and I think that's in a way, yeah, what I was going for. Not like a dull blade, but it's still cutting through you, but slowly. Um, and the background of it is that it's two verses, and it's kind of a amalgam of stories I heard as being a therapist,
Mhm.
from patients, clients with, severe mental illness, talking about being schizophrenic or
Hmm.
talking about having, dissociative identity disorder, and telling me all these stories, and then, looking at me and saying, you don't believe me, or you're never going to believe me. Um, and, finding out a lot of them were true, even if at first it didn't seem like it was possible. So we were trying to figure out the title for that and thinking, what do we call this? Like manic depression, mania. We wanted it to be something in the psychology field, but um, yeah, that felt just like a crazy static in my head day at work that I wanted to finally put into song. I never knew if I would be able to, but I was like, I gotta at least try.
And I would have never, if you were like, hey, I want a beat like to do, I would never give you a beat like that. That's what's also
Yeah,
crazy. That, yeah, I'm just like, but then it works. I just like, it was fucking, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I just, that to me, I was like, this is next. It almost, that's what it, that's the moment for the next album for me with him.
That's the what you're like.
I'm
That's
like,
the start.
whoa, like that was the, yeah, because I know I when I heard I don't even what the hell's the Shakedown Street. When I
Yeah.
heard that, I'm like, that's it's like giving Jesse that pocket to work in.
Mhm.
That's what I got to do for the set, like the next one. And then with this, then when I heard Anima, I'm like, that's the building block for me. It's like it has to be like these little journeys.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that means yet, but that was the like I was like, this is the next like this. That's why I like as being a rapper writer, hearing like motherfuckers like that shit. This is what motherfuckers should be like. That's incredible. But not everybody's gonna
Yeah.
jump.
No, it's the difference. Like if the beat and the MC don't come together like that, then you're left as a listener to pick it apart, right?
Yeah,
This part is pretty, this part is pretty.
yeah.
But like when you listen to that song, it's just like being on a crazy carnival ride.
Bro,
You
it
know what I
makes
mean?
me
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God damn. I don't know. It was just like it's been a long time since I've had that. And that's how powerful that shit was. So that's why I'm like, okay, that feels like a nice little piece to like, all right, I gotta save that and that'll be yeah.
I
So
love that.
Jesse, did you approach what did you have a different approach to writing Anima than you did the other songs on the album?
Yeah, completely. Yeah,
Okay.
that I feel like that's a total standalone. Um, that was like the one where I was like, going back to emotional divulging and how much do you want to put out there. That was the one of few songs, ever maybe that I've written where I was like, I'm just gonna try to get it all out there and figure it out later. Um,
Mm.
I don't think I've written many other songs like that are so, just completely personal, because I think I struggle a little bit and I'm trying to get better at storytelling in my music.
Yeah.
And I sometimes stray from it because I have more fun
Mm.
bouncing all around the place and doing,
Yeah.
reference here and then something here. And it's more fun for me. Um, but storytelling it's a whole different level, I think, of songwriting that I want to keep figuring out and getting better at.
I think with like Mike too, there's a little bit of it with especially
Yeah.
how it kind of gets wrapped up. Like it's just like basketball references, your child, and then like the way you wrap it up with the part with your dad, and it's like, I don't know. That was another nice little
Yeah.
um nugget of writing where I was like, okay, all right, I see
Yeah, I
you.
mean, well, and you don't want to, just to your point, you don't want to like, if you don't want to get halfway into a concept album and be like, oh fuck, I got seven
Yeah.
songs about becoming a fucking butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to make at
Yeah.
least four more. God damn.
Yeah. And I can even get that way with just one song where I'm like, okay, I'm over this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And that's, probably mostly attributed to my having trouble staying on task with things in general that I want to just bounce around. I get sick of talking about something. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Okay, I did this line about, whatever. Okay, I'm done with that. What's a different idea?
Mm.
So that's a challenge to myself that I want to, sit with the discomfort of writing more songs that are more narrative focused. I don't think I'll ever make a fully conceptual album like that. I just don't think I'd enjoy it enough. But
Mm.
certain songs, I think I'd like to do more of that.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Yeah, this the way the album ends is really dope. Frankenstein's a great closer. Origami's awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
Frankenstein's another one. I'm like, man, it's just the way he just, yeah, it's almost like I'm giving. That was the alley-oop one. I'm like, I'm gonna see, like, I have a feeling where he's gonna go, and it was just like, this is fucking,
yeah.
yeah, very
Yeah.
easy.
Tall people unite on secret recipes. Dope. Uh,
Yeah, Dempsey's got one of the greatest lines I've ever heard on that.
mhm.
Where he said, my props are taller than Laura Prepon with 79-foot bionic prosthetic knees on.
Mhm.
I was just like, yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, all. I wish I could feature everybody all the time, and
Right,
I
right.
know I know I can't, and I would like if I would like to just make albums with a feature on every single song, just because I like working with my friends. But um, all these guys have like really fucking balled out on their features, and it's people that I study and respect and just am amazed by constantly.
The approach to features is interesting, Kay. If you look at this album, right? 14 songs, eight of them are solo, right? And the last five are all solo.
Mm.
Uh, four of the
Four of the
four of
last
the
five.
last
Sorry
five.
about that. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So like that's like you end with tree. You get the tree you want,
Mhm.
and so that's I sometimes there's so many features that you didn't really get what the album was about or the personality of the album. Um, some people can pull that off. E40 can pull that off. Like he can get 100 features and it still sounds like a great E40 album. Not everybody can do that. Um, but this one is a real good balance of that. Your voice and your space to write and create versus everybody else. How was that balance? How did you guys come up with the balance?
I There's some things you like completely overthink, and then there's some things you kind of just like do as part of the process. And like I get weird with features, like in the same way that I do would if being a kid and having a birthday party. I'm way more worried about people feeling left out. I'm way more worried
Love it.
about, like that. I get way too emotionally wrapped up on like, should I have asked this person? Should I have done this? I try to think as little about it as I can and focus on what I have to do. And if the beat sounds like something I could hear somebody on, or I'll ask a bunch of people and whoever got it to me first.
Mhm.
Like I trust everybody that I ask, and I know they're gonna fucking kill it, but um that's their job is to kill the feature for me the best that they can. I'll do my job. That's kind of how I look at it, like one hand washing the other. Let's both fuck this song up together. Um But that's one thing, admittedly, I'm not. It's just, you know, being honest, it freaks me out a little bit. Like I don't want to overthink that and have people feel left out or
Yeah, that's where
underappreciated
I
or
come
this
in.
and that.
That's where I'm like, we're cutting
Yeah,
this song. We're
yeah.
cutting that.
A lot of the like
We
direction of
had
the
probably
album.
20 songs,
Mm.
and I cut a lot of the. I'm like, dude, we can't have all like this has to be your fucking album. Like that was another thing with the Pigeon Man. I wanted to have more Jesse, and it's easy for me to be like, hey, we're gonna cut this song. Like I'll reach out to the like I cut a song that I was on, I cut a song that a couple other people were on. I'm like, look, you can't take this shit personally. It just is what it is.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And
can't
I
do
don't mind
that.
being
So
that guy. Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
Mopes is like that, you know, I kind of throw all the shit here. I did my part. I rapped to the best of my ability. I feel good about all these songs. They're all yours. You pick the order. Like I'll come up with
That was
titles.
I was surprised that you let me do that this time.
Yeah.
Because I think last time out I think there was a couple of suggestions I made, but I think you laid out the track list for the Pigeon Man. But this one, you were just like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, let's go. I'll fuck
And
that.
sometimes you just that's a fun part of it too. Is like I trust you. I trust your ear.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And you made all these beats. How about you structure it in a way that you think makes sense with the beats rather than me? Because if I structure it, I'm gonna pick it based on content.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Your
say this
feedback.
song is about this is about this. So I want them in this order. But maybe let's do it around sound.
Mm.
Yeah. Your feedback for the songs were fantastic because it was just like, hey, what if let's add a little bit of to like my voice needs a little bit of something here. And like again with Anima, like I wanted we need like more of like a chaotic ending um
Mm.
and then so then when I was tasked with just putting together the thing, like I wanted it to end. I wanted to start with Jesse and I
Mm.
wanted it to end with Jesse. And then for whatever reason in my mind, when I was telling him, like the whole album to me just feels like it's just on this incline.
Right.
Like it never feels like it just, oh, here's this low point. It's just like, no, like, and then Frank, because Starships is one of my favorite songs.
Yep. Yep.
And same thing with Frankenstein. Like
Yeah.
just the way, because you're like, oh, okay, the beats, like Frankenstein beats kind of slow. But then Jesse's like, no, like we're just like, even as his verse goes, he takes a less of a break in that middle and just fucking keeps going. It's so good. Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at it, right, 6, 7, 8, 9, all of those have features, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we're kind of partying with our friends, right? Like
Yeah.
we got Condition Report with Andrew, we got Slug, we got Blacklick and Toadstool. Righteous is super fun, and then Anima, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, and you're in somewhere you may didn't expect. So
Oh man. Yeah.
that's kind of awesome, you know.
Yeah. And I think for my personal goal and you had said this, I think, Dan, in the email of like having more solo Jesse.
Yep, yep.
I think that's the goal for the next one we do is to get him get him in his discomfort a little bit and letting him open up. So
That was my yeah. In the breakdown, I had to because one of the first reactions we had on talking to somebody on Discord was like, "I wish there was more Jesse on there," you know. And I was like, "Damn, K the I, Henri Osborne." I was like, all these crazy dope features, Slug, like you like, and I was like, that's how protective people are of Jesse's voice, like of
mm,
as a creator, you know, that like
yeah.
they're scrambling for anything they can get in terms of and that's the demand is there. So that makes me happy. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Kay, what do you got for favorite runs on this thing, man?
I mean, I thought that uh, three to, I mean, 3 to 6 could be its own EP. My
Ooh, I love that.
run was a bad MFer,
Yep,
like Mike, and then Death of Vanity. I thought that was just the whole, for me, that just encapsulated the whole range of the Jesse the Tree experience to me. Those three,
I
three
like
songs.
that.
It's
I
a cool
like
pick.
that. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna go 8, 9, 10. Doris Burke, Righteous Anima. Doris Burke is such a great song, such a fun ass song, and man, Blackling is so perfect for this project. Um,
Just
incredible
perfect in
person,
general.
incredible person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
one
you
of
know what? A funny thing about Black. So Black was telling me that his verse is not. It's like off.
Really?
Like not how he recorded it. I'm like, really? I'm like, this shit sound. He's like, yeah. I'm like, this sounds. So I fucked up his verse
I think it sounds
alignment,
awesome.
sounds
but
Yeah.
the shit
fantastic.
sounded yes, it sounded
Sounds
right.
Yeah.
fantastic.
So
Toadstool sounds great. But yeah, no, and Anima, I think is definitely one of the best, if not the best Jesse song that I've heard. Yeah. Do you guys have any favorite runs on it, or you guys it's hard to look at it like that, or
I mean,
I don't.
yeah. I'll say Starships, Death of Van. I love Death of Vanity. I just that the vibe on that is just.
that's an incredible song.
Yeah, I just that I think that in my head I was like, oh, we could do a whole album like this, but I'm like, I can't. It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. But yeah, those two. I mean, but all this Jesse solo songs are my favorite songs on the album, 100%.
It's a there's a very New England feel to this album. This is really good. Um, yeah. Jesse, do you have anything that stands out for runs or anything or
Um,
parts of the album?
I listened to it too much to, in terms of like the whole, putting it out and overanalyzing it.
Yeah,
Less my favorite songs, more like my favorite beats Mopes did. It's one of those things with making an album, and similarly happened with Pigeon Man, where you keep listening to it and you get sick of it, and then you grow a fondness for it. Um, and just like re-listening to the Doris Burke beat
Yeah.
um,
That still
from
gives me
Mopes, where it was one of
that
the
whole
first
song
ones he
still gives
sent
me
me.
the chills and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Re-listening to that beat, and he's cut out in a post production and everything, where he cut out beats and kind of like let the song build on its own. Um, just I deeper appreciation for all of Mope's beats and the repeated listens, where I was like, man, this doesn't really sound like a lot of other shit that's out. Um, and then Henri's verse on that is so fucking cool, and it's talking with him, it was like anecdotal of growing up in New Mexico, and kind of that like
Yeah.
being young in Mexico, which I thought was really cool. I just all the features are just felt very like everybody gave me the best that they could, and that's such a cool thing. It's because it's somebody gave you like a really sentimental gift. You're like, oh, you gave me that. You gave me that to keep. So that's always I'm always like bewildered by that, because I'm like, I know how hard it is to write a verse sometimes, and you wrote that for me, you know.
yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, for yourself, but
It's like
yeah, like
Slug got us like within 3 or 4 days.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
that
mean,
was
that was fucking. But I just like the testament of people who the respect they have for Jesse, and also knowing like they don't want to get killed on the track. You know,
Right.
so it's yeah, it's just yeah. That's what a
And
feature
it's
has.
it's
In my
such a
mind,
good song for Slug, right? Like it's such the content, everything makes sense for Slug to come in there and do his thing, right? This is not
yeah,
an
yeah.
alien place.
Jesse, like he even said it. Like he wrote the verse to be like, "Here you go, man." You
Right.
know,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I wanted the whole
perfect.
song to be like that. We, once he said he was down, I was texted Mopes immediately. I was like, let's make a whole new beat for this. Let's
Yeah. Yeah, I
make
made
a
the beat
slug
the
song.
next day, sent it. Jesse wrote to it. Then within a couple days, Slug had a fucking verse for it. It was,
Done.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a, deeply emotional moment as somebody, grew up. That was the soundtrack to my life in middle and high school, was listening to Slug. That's my sisters listen to Slug, you
Sure.
know, in the same way my sisters listen to Sage. I listen to Sage as a kid, and
Mhm.
I don't take that for granted or overlook that in any way. That's like, these are the guys that, you know, made me think, okay, I can do this too, or I can,
Yeah.
express myself in this way. And so getting to make songs with them, it's like,
Yep.
it still doesn't feel real sometimes, but it is.
I've had some definite moments like that here. It's been awesome. Um, yeah. Oh, another topic before we go to recommendation corner. What is the future of Strange Famous? Here's my my premise here. Okay. A lot of these labels that have been around as long as Strange Famous has been around become like retirement labels, right? Me and my old friends, we're gonna put out these songs on this label, right? Nothing against that. I think that's perfectly reasonable thing to do. Build your sandbox, play in your sandbox. That's awesome. But Strange Famous, when it started, was so fucking unique, so fucking different from what was out there. Of just like, wait, is this a poet heading a hardcore band? Like, there was so much nutty shit going on, right? And that nutty shit that Strange Famous specializes in is pervasive now. It's the underground. Like we're living in a world that is perfect for people to be on Strange Famous.
Yeah.
And so perfect for those artists that would be on Strange Famous, but also artists that I think Strange Famous listeners would love, right?
Who do you what's give us an example? I'm curious.
Oh, I've got so many examples.
Give us two.
So me and Jesse have talked about this. Ratman Gavin.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a beast.
Okay.
So good.
Yep. Yep. South Africa. Yeah, great. Incredible.
Very, very,
Yeah,
very
I've heard once.
political and
I heard the
psychedelic and
you made a beat for
technical.
this dude, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
produced
yeah, yeah,
an
yeah.
EP for him.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, he's just very skilled, naturally skilled
yeah.
MC, progressing at a major incline, like similarly, to how you were talking about me, Dan, was like, I
Right.
was younger, you're like, you could tell I could rap, but maybe didn't have the resources. I think you give Rap Man Gavin the resources in platform and the right mixing and everything, and he already is fantastic, but like
Right.
he's just kind of like a star in the making always.
Another person who could jump on Strange Famous, release a classic, get a whole new fan base is Kilvon Guard.
Oh yeah, Kill Guard, yeah, another like just incredible MC, and I got to play with him several times and see him
Producer,
live.
like it a genius of a person and
Yeah,
kind as ever as anyone. Like if Chicago, he's got his own Crusher Records label with Tom Can't Sleep, they're dope. But Kilvon Guard
yeah,
is
he's like,
crazy.
yeah, I would say like you don't want to throw the term around lightly, but like he he's kind of a genius, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, this guy's really fucking good, but also like just has that kind of brain where I'm like, whoa, like he's mathematical about
Hmm.
his rap and his writing, and
yeah.
yeah,
It's like
really
reading
unbelievable.
Vonnegut for the first time or something, where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
oh shit,
yeah,
like and
I gotta
having a
think.
mastery over it. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
yep, yep,
Yeah,
yeah,
another one of those guys where I'm like, fuck, all right, I gotta, I want to write today. You know,
yep. There's lots of people. I just think,
Yeah.
yeah, and I
I
think it would
mean,
be great.
I think that's a question. It's a question for State Sage and Storm. Um, I mean, me and Jesse can only control with
Yeah,
what we're doing. I know my goal is to just work with people I think I'll jive with. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a right moment for for music to kind of take itself back a little bit.
yep.
Um, with all the fucking AI shit and fucking
Mhm.
Trump, and it's just like bringing it back to reality a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm curious to. I'll have to dig more into Rap Man Gavin because
Mhm.
I'm always looking for young. So like Black and Jesse were two people that weren't on the label that I was like, That's right." So I'm always looking for new people to who have that hunger, who I think I can fucking work with. So I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's that's again a question for people who.
Absolutely. Check the
The
Rat
big
Man
man.
Gavin,
Yeah, exactly.
but look up "Life is a Masterpiece"
Okay,
by Kill Von Guard. All
I
one word.
will.
Kill
I
Von
don't
Guard.
think I've ever heard this person.
Yeah,
Oh, you
Kill
love
Von
him.
So,
Guard is
Yeah,
dope.
he's
"Life
okay,
is a Masterpiece" is serious. It
okay.
was one of those things where we got to interview him and ask him about it, and it was so much more dense and intelligent with all these layers and shit that we
mm.
were like, oh wow, that's cool. Um, but yeah, just wanted to ask you briefly. I know you wouldn't want to step outside of a friendly talk with the label, but like, I just think there's a lot. This is a
Yeah,
world that would love what you know. There's a lot
yeah.
out there.
I think the other thing too is like what Jesse's doing has influenced me of not always having if like it doesn't feel the label doesn't feel like they want to put this thing out, then you can still put, you know what I mean? You
Do
still
whatever you want. Yeah, yeah, it's fair.
work on stuff, still release it, and we're still bumping each other up, even though it's we're not on it or you know what I mean, whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's bump it to recommendation corner. Get it done. We'll talk about stuff we've been what okay, one of the two or three best political albums of the year, right? Just came out. I don't know if I told you about it. They're Burning the Boats is what it's called
Ooh.
by Bamboo di Pistola, Long Beach.
Yeah.
Um,
mm,
great political rapper, been around for a million years. Um, legend in the West Coast. And it's just fearless in its critique of everything's awesome.
all right.
Whoa. What was it? What was it called? They're burning the boats?
They're burning the boats.
Okay.
It's like 8 songs, super dope, no fat. The other one I was on a bit of a Peyton Locke kick. Listen to "Smiling on You" with a smile raised.
Oh,
Eight and lock.
Ian
Damn.
Yeah,
Locke. Why does that sound so familiar? Hold on.
Peyton Locke passed away. Yeah, it was.
Oh God.
Yeah, great rapper, great rapper.
God, I don't know any. Yeah. Okay, I have to check it.
Yeah, Peyton Locke is dope. So check. Yeah, Americancer is the one a lot of people know.
Oh,
But yeah, I dig this one. The other one was listening to this morning. I had a mix going, Kay. The new Tia Corinne album, Song for Song, with Nashville Skyline by Bob Dylan.
Oh,
Mm.
And
what
that
does it
was
say?
that was cool. That was fun to do.
Tia
I love that album
okay.
uh,
Corinne. Okay.
because it's a period where Dylan had warmth and put down a little bit of the like I'm the lyrical genius who does 10-minute songs about war. Like he was like, you know what? We're gonna put on a cowboy hat and have fun. I was like, all right, this is great. Um, and they were really good tunes, man. Nashville Skyline's beautiful. Yep. So those are mine for right now. Um, yeah. Oh, I'll come do my announcement after. I got a big announcement. Big announcement. But Mopes, what do you listen to?
Hang on, lady. Um, man. I mean, man. Mine. Okay, so the new Mob Deep.
Oh, Infinite. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Infinite, the Crime Apple V Dawn, Bulletproof Chicken, um,
It's
the
about
new
chicken.
yeah, the new Evidence like Unlearning 2, I think it's called. That was
Oh,
dope.
Bulletproof Chicken. V
Yeah,
Done.
Bulletproof Chicken. Yeah, yeah, V Dawn. Yep. So Evidence.
Oh, Unlearning Volume 2.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm always a big fan of like Evidence and like his production and the people. Like, yeah, he always has like a good feel of shit. The fucking new Atmosphere album. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but like some of the singles from it, I was like,
Oh
damn,
man,
this looks on fucking
the
point.
the joint Jester on that album.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
smooth.
he's yeah. I mean, I feel like he's just fucking he's killing it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but there's no one like, oh, that's a gem that no one knows
Yeah,
of. Like, I don't have any of those at this point.
that's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
This is where you're at. I like that. It's a good crop of albums.
Yeah.
Jesse, what are you rocking with?
Um, well, I just watched the other day. Oh shit, hold on, let me look it up real quick. The Jeff Buckley documentary.
Oh shit. Okay.
And he's one of my favorite artists ever. And the documentary was so beautifully done. It's called It's Never Over. Jeff Buckley
Oh,
documentary.
okay.
It's out of this world. So I've been listening to the album he released before he passed, called Sketches from My Sweetheart the Drunk. I've listened to it in the past, but like now I'm listening to it after watching that. So I've been listening to a lot of Jeff Buckley. What else? That the Old Grape God and Andrew album.
Yeah, it's a great album.
The News Ain't News to Me.
Yep.
Is unbelievable. So cool, so different, so relaxed and very much itself. Um,
Yeah.
that's probably and then just listening to a lot of Silver Jews again, which I tend to do when I'm trying
Mhm.
to like get back into writing mode.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to give Andrew credit. I feel like he cracked the code on making an old Grape God album. Like,
Mhm.
make the songs fly like as shit so he can sound fly on them, but they've got
Yeah,
to knock too. You know what I mean? You've got to, yeah,
yeah,
he didn't sacrifice anything. I think it's brilliant.
yep, agreed.
The Kay, what are you rocking with?
Nothing musically, but I watched the first episode of the Chair Company, the
Oh yeah.
Tim
I watched it
Robinson.
too. Yeah, it's so good.
I enjoyed it.
Oh,
I'm intrigued.
I've
me
not heard of
too.
it. I'm interested.
Oh, it's you would love it, man.
Okay, have you seen Friendship?
Yes, I loved
Oh
Friendship.
God. Yeah,
Yes,
okay, yeah.
It
yes.
feels like it's kind of carrying that
It
tone
is.
where he's
Yeah.
like he's getting like a little darker and like more and more uncomfortable and ridiculous at the same time.
No,
Dude,
Um,
Tim
it's
Robbins.
dude.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Come on,
really
Jesse, did you
fucking
see that?
funny.
Did you see Cheer Company?
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God,
dude,
man. It's
when he looks up that lady's dress, I was
oh God,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It's just so beautifully fucking nauseating.
Yeah.
It's
That's his
so good.
style. That's his
yeah.
style since the
That and
yeah.
that and Task. Has anybody
Oh,
watched
I haven't
Task
watched
yet?
Task yet.
Oh
gotta get in the task.
my goodness.
yep.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
That's cool. So the announcement, the big announcement here, and I've had this brewing for more than a year in my head, but it's coming to fruition. So the idea was to have a remix of my logo,
Ooh.
but
All right.
but to have a remix of my logo contest,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? Not just remix the logo, have a bunch of people remix my logo and pay the person with the best logo.
Oh yeah. No, wait, you haven't done it yet, right?
Well, this is it. So the idea was you got to have that, but then like you gotta get some pros in there as pace setters,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Let the
Yeah.
people know how you fucking do this, right?
Hmm.
Or is that?
Right, set the bar.
Yeah.
Who's going to be my pace setters? So I couldn't move forward without the pace setters, right? Um, and the pace setters are PQ from Philly
Ooh, wow.
Oh.
and Rhyme Puma.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
That's exciting stuff, man.
yeah. I'm super excited. So they're gonna remix the logo. Then so I'm gonna put this out and get some artists to do
Hey,
it. And
yeah,
so
Ty, art by Ty. Get him involved.
Like I will say, it's $400 on the table. I'm paying $400 to who has the best one.
I'm gonna be putting a logo in too if it's for $400.
Do it. And by the way, I told PQ, I'm like, yo, if you've got the best one, I'm paying you 400 extra than what you're getting. Like,
Yeah.
wise, you know, I'll.
It's worth it.
Yeah, everybody's got a vote in the ballot box, you know. So,
Oh, that's cool, man.
and it's fun. I get to pay artists, but it's also just as self-centered as my comfort place is. You know what I mean? So I'm winning all the way around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good deal. So I'm excited about that. A lot of potentially cool stuff coming up, and stuff in the air. We'll see. But
Stuff is in the
one
air.
thing's for certain, my tree shirt is on the way.
What will tomorrow bring?